Look at that. Tiger moth. Or I mean leopard moth. Large leopard moth. It's kind of early in the year for one of those. Is it even what I think it is? See, jewelweed gets its name because when little droplets of rain land on the leaves, such as these here, they just sparkle like diamonds. And that's because of the microscopic texture. There are thousands of tiny little hairs that pretty much trap the air between the layer of water and the leaf itself. That simply allows the water to catch and reflect the sunlight back at you. Hence the name jewelweed. But something that's even cooler is you can take a leaf, submerge it in the water, and the leaf will become a shimmering mirror. Just beautiful. How cool is that? I guess that makes the leaves hydrophobic. That allows the water to just roll right off the leaf. And another useful thing about jewelweed is when you're done with the leaf, you can use it as a bandage to cover a wound. Now, of course, the thing that jewelweed is most famous for is for treating poison ivy. If you just came into contact with poison ivy, you can take a jewelweed stem, crush it up, and apply the juices to the area of skin that made contact with the poison ivy. That should neutralize the toxic oils of the poison ivy. And something that's even more fun about it is the exploding seed pods. And there's my favorite, maybe my second favorite salamander of my county, the long-tailed salamander. They're just simply gorgeous. Obviously, they get their name from that super long tail. Some of them can be really bright orange with the characteristic black spots. And looking at that flat-keeled tail, those spots morph into more of a chevron shape. Now here's a large two-lined. It's not as vibrant, mostly because it's bigger. It's a good size though. Just like the redback salamanders, there's dozens of northern two-lines all the way up and down this stream. So, of course, just like the redbacks, I don't really film them so much anymore. But regardless of that, they're still magnificent creatures nonetheless. I've been disassembling these all morning. I know some people hate me for that. However, I'm not such a bad person for dismantling them. They kill wildlife because they destroy habitat that the creatures live under, which takes a couple years for the moisture and pH to develop just right. See how a lot of beetles were just displaced? So these guys will go back. These guys are mobile. They're not as dependent on it as many of the other creatures. Most likely half these rocks were around there. Some of them were in the water. That's all habitat lost. Now that usually means to me to go over there. The bird hooked this branch, spent some time, it got my attention. And then it went down to there and it's going back and forth in that spot. There's another one joining it, so usually for me, I just take those as little signs. Follow it and see what it leads me to. But on the way, let me check under this. And this. Oh, tiny little mushroom. Yeah, a little slug. Man, if it was a northern red, I'd be ecstatic. Or milky. I haven't seen a milky in quite a while. Oops, I think this is where the bird was. Oh my God. That is the biggest ringneck I've seen in years. So, you see what I mean? That's how I roll. You know, if a branch or something falls and lands in front of me and it's shaped like an arrow, I go in the direction it's pointing. If a spider balloons past my shoulder or a butterfly or something, I follow the direction. You know, that bird caught my attention. It just really caught my attention. And I always follow my heart or intuition. Something told me pay attention to the bird. And the bird was just really sitting there like, you looking? And then it went in that direction, landed on this rock. And what's under it, the only snake I found of the day. Check it out. See? And it's one of the biggest ringnecks I've seen in years. Beautiful, beautiful little snake, isn't it? And by the way, that's another reason why I generally like to be alone when I'm in the woods. I just kind of get my thing going after a while. It's just been really hard lately during the COVID thing because there's people everywhere. And this too. As I said, it drives me nuts. So much habitat destruction there. I mean, that's got to be like 30 or 40 rocks, 30 or 40 homes. Animals most likely perished because of that. Look how much this rock has been stepped on. People coming through here. That's impressive. You don't need a chain gang to break the rocks around here. Just COVID.
Thanks.
Cool, no problem. Look at the neat way this rock broke. That round piece right there. It's pretty cool. Talk about a puzzle. You can put this all back together again, which I am about to not do. So check out these little galls on these leaves. They resemble the coxcomb galls, which are named after the comb sticking up on a rooster's head, and they have aphids within them. These don't really look like the coxcomb galls though, this early in the stage, so I'm not sure what kind they are. But I'm pretty sure there's aphids within them. I find gulls to be really fascinating. And, you know, the creatures that create them are pretty cool. I mean, they're capitalizing on the safety within a gull. That becomes their whole world, and they generally just feed on the glucose that the plant produces. Now, if you look at the underside of the leaf, it's basically folded, you know, creating a bit of a slit on the underside where it's stitched or folded together. And these ones are following the veins of the leaf. So cool. For some reason, this reminds me of something out of Skyrim. Maybe a dragon armor helmet. But you can tell this is on a main path. All the people that come through here rub their hands on this. You could tell just by looking at it. Think of all the hundreds, if not thousands of hands that have stroked this on the way by. Really cool that no matter who they are, they still find themselves compelled to run their hands along this texture as they pass it. Reminds me of one of those statues at a train station or something. You know, it's been really hard to get some privacy and peace and quiet in the parks lately with this whole COVID thing. And it's really nice to finally find a spot, a path nonetheless, where there's not many people walking around. I get to slow down. I'm not hearing people. I'm hearing water and birds and things like that. It's beautiful. As I always say, the slower you go, the quieter things become. And the more wildlife begins to accept you, the more stuff you get to see, the more your heart begins to beat like that at the woodlands. And that's my medicine. Something I'm in desperate need of is the solitude and camping. So, on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you had a good time. Until next time, I'm Chris Ignato, signing out. Talk about quiet, huh?